Okay, cool. All right, cool. We're good. Yo, we're back. Someone's gonna be on here for 2K26, so I gotta pull it up. Someone's gonna be joining us though, I think. All right, we go. Okay, let's go. All right, cool. I'm probably like the last person you watching this thing. Where is it, man? NBA 2K, I gotcha. I'll bring this up. What's up, barcode? Hear you. Right now we're just watching 2K event.
The moments that last forever go beyond what we see on the court.
You are the Finals MVP.
These moments start with the ball, a dream, and a relentless will to win. They're a culmination of every effort put into the game since they first stepped on the court. All of those moments have led to this one. NBA 2K26. Ball over everything.
Welcome back to our NBA 2K streams, or if today is your first time, glad to have you here with us. You probably saw the news by now that between now and the launch of NBA 2K26, we are going to be here live to take you through the new features and improvements that are coming up in this year's game. Now, a couple of housekeeping items. One thing to keep in mind is we are here to talk about NBA 2K26 on Gen 9. Now, in case you don't know what that means, that's what some of you have called next gen or new gen for the last few years. And because it's not really new anymore, Gen 9 is easier to understand for everybody. So Gen 9 this year for NBA 2K26 includes PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and then also the brand new Nintendo Switch 2 that came out this year is part of Gen 9 as well. The other housekeeping item, some of you may have noticed that we do have new Twitch drops, and that means that you can watch these first few Road to 2K26 streams and earn a locker code for NBA 2K25, and this is how it works. There's 2 tiers of rewards. If you watch for 45 minutes, you will get 2 1-hour double XP coins, 1 for my team and 1 for my career, 2 hours total, and you can use those, of course, on your way to level 40 right now in 2K25. There's a My Career Cat Breaker, there's GOAT Dr. J in my team, and many rewards along the way. So that's what the double XP coins are for. But if you keep watching and you watch for a total of 2 hours, you will get a My Team 100 overall plus pack, plus camo pants, and 60 skill boosts for your My Player. So that's a nice reward, and all you have to do is watch. So you can keep accumulating that over the next few weeks. We are not going to stream 2 hours total today, but you can finish your watch time on our next Road to 2K26 streams, and we do have a bunch coming up, which we're going to get to in just a second. And one final note, of course, on this, Twitch drops are, of course, on Twitch. So if you're watching on YouTube or X or TikTok, come over to Twitch if you want to participate in Twitch drops. Now, before we get into today's reveals, let's do a rapid recap of last week. First up, we revealed our NBA 2K26 cover athletes with the MVP and also Finals MVP on the Standard Edition, Angel Reese on the WNBA Edition, and the Superstar Edition with Carmelo Anthony. I have seen a lot of Melo fans out there who very, very much love this cover, including someone who is going to be joining us very shortly that you might be able to guess who I'm talking about, but he will be here in just a second. But maybe the biggest news of the week for you all was, of course, about early access. In case you didn't see it, this year's early access, if you get the Superstar Edition or the Leave No Doubt Edition, will begin on August 29th. That is a whole week before launch on September 5th. I'm pretty sure that is the longest early access, at least that I can remember, so hopefully everybody is excited for that. Now, there are a good 6 weeks until then, and we are just so excited to talk about 2K26, and we wanted to give you all an early teaser. I made a post yesterday that we know that after the cover athletes and after the pre-orders, it can feel like a long quiet period before we get into gameplay. So think of today as an appetizer. And what that means is, to be really clear, we are not getting into the main courses of 2K26. But we are not talking about the full reveals for each of those game modes. Those are going to come later. But there are a few things we can talk about today that I know you all will love. Some of them are like my personal favorite changes as well. There's improvements that have been inspired by community feedback that our dev team has been working very hard that we wanted to pull together and share with you all today. But I have rambled on long enough. Let us welcome in a special guest from the community so that I am not up here by myself. Max, how you doing today?
Yo, chat. What is good, man? Super excited to be here. Talk about 2K26, man. Got a few things I just found out recently, and excited to hear about it, share it with you guys as well. So let's do it, baby.
Yeah, so Stacks just got a sneak peek of the sneak peek a little bit ago before we went live. So he has a list of everything we can talk about today. And now we're going to walk you through it together section by section. You feeling good about this, Stacks?
Yeah, for sure, man. And why not just go ahead and dive right in it? You know what I'm saying? Let's start out with probably the thing that everybody want to know the most about, gameplay. And first we have rewarding skill-based gameplay. So Evan, what does that mean? Rewarding skill-based.
All right, we're gonna get right into it then. I hope everybody is paying attention because we are going to start off with a big topic and one that I know many in the community have shared a lot of thoughts on. It has been a very hot topic this year indeed. So today what we want to share is that one of the dev team's themes was ensuring a skill-based gameplay experience where you feel more in control and you feel that what you're doing on the sticks, on the controller, is more reflected by what you're seeing on your screen. And that is an overall theme, so you're going to feel it across shot outcomes, blocks, steals, loose balls, rebounds, and more across just how gameplay feels this year. Now, Stacks, I know we can't leave the community here with a broad theme and no details, so there are a couple things that we can say today, so listen closely. The first one, higher difficulties are going to play with green or miss jump shot timing.
Yeah.
Now, when we say higher difficulties, that includes most competitive multiplayer modes that many of you all play. So in those modes, you're not going to see early or late releases going in on those difficulties, which I think is a very welcome news to many of you. Second thing, the shot meters and the dunk meters are both going to show you your green windows in 2K26. That was a point of feedback that came up a lot, and even as the year went on, I kept seeing that many weren't getting used to the new 2K25 shot meters, especially slashers. I gave that feedback a lot. So in 2K26, the meters are going to have the green windows again. One more thing here, layup timing is going to be permanently enabled in multiplayer modes. That means you're not going to be seeing real player percentage layups go over you anymore with someone that's just tapping a button. All the layups need to be timed in those modes. But those of you who are newer to the game, we do want to clarify that you shouldn't think that you aren't going to be able to make a layup anymore, because this is not meant to make it really hard for you to make your open layups, but rather to separate the really good finishers from the weaker ones, and definitely to make sure that there's more skill involved. So those are the three things that we have to share for gameplay for now. Green or miss shot timing, green windows on the shot meter and dunk meter, and layup timing being enabled. So hopefully those are all good news to you. I see the chat is happy, it seems. It seems like they are. And there is a lot more that we will be sharing later when we do our full gameplay breakdown. But for now, you'll have to be patient and the details will come here before you know it.
Yeah, and those all sound like things that, throughout the year, the community was talking about and, changes that they wanted to see be made. So it's good that we're finally getting those things in 2K26. With that being said, just a reminder for you guys too, the full gameplay reveal will be the week of July 28th. All right, so keep that in mind. This was just a small sneak peek. The week of July 28th, more gameplay details will be out.
Exactly. Also, one last thing, by the way, Mike is not going to be answering questions today. I know you all love hearing from him, but he is a very, very busy guy right now. He and his whole team and the whole dev team are working on the game to be ready for you all. So we're going to wait until after the full reveal of these modes and gameplay to answer any questions. So Mike is not going to be answering questions today. Don't blame him. Let the man work. He is very busy right now. He and his entire team are working on finishing 2K26 for you all. With that said, what is next, Stacks?
Yes, sir. Most anticipated, maybe not most anticipated, but highly anticipated. We're going to be talking a little bit about the My Player Builder. All right. I know a lot of people want to hear about that. And first, we got Build with New Insights. I really wonder what that means, Devin. Break it down for us.
All right, let's explain this a little bit. So, obviously, one of the first things many of you do in 2K is you go into the builder and you experiment, right? That is such an important part of every 2K for you. And the dev team has taken time to add more previews and more quality of life improvements to that process. So there's going to be multiple things that we can talk about later, but one example that we can share today of what that might mean is a nice little addition that you can now preview the body types that you'll be able to unlock right from inside the builder. Because I've seen many people make a build, they save it, then they go and check the body types. And then if it doesn't have the ones they want, they back out, tweak it a little bit, check again, and repeat. That's kind of time consuming. So you will not have to do that anymore. You will be able to see the body types before you are done with your build. And that is just one example of some of the improvements to the builder, some of the quality of life upgrades that we're going to talk about more later in the summer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So another one that I see here, staying on the topic of the My Player Builder, is fresh playstyles year round. Okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit. Fresh playstyles.
Yeah, so of all the feedback this year, it has been consistent that many people in the community love Capbreaker, right? In case you weren't locked into 2K25, you don't know what that is. what cap breakers do is they allow you to improve your build even after you finish making it. So you can make the attributes even better, and then that unlocks the badges and animations, and then your build continues to stay fresh. So today, we can confirm that cap breakers will be back in 2K26, and there will also be other new ways to improve your builds and earn those cap breakers that we're going to talk about soon. The other thing that I saw a lot of positive feedback on this year was the takeover system, where you have 5 levels that heat up automatically, you don't need to activate it manually, and then a takeover ability at level 5. That system at its core is back, but it is more in depth now. There are some new mechanics, and the progression is also streamlined. So unlocking takeovers and the pure amount of takeovers and special abilities or takeover abilities, that is not going to be as intimidating anymore in 2K26. So we're going to talk about takeover and cap breakers soon, but for now, they are back and they are much, much improved.
Okay, interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to hear more about those takeovers. But as we keep things moving, I think this right here was something, again, that the community would talk about throughout the life cycle of like any 2K game, and it's my player build diversity. So yeah, what are we talking about there?
Oh, I swear, dude.
Yeah, so build diversity is really important, and the dev team has been working hard to ensure that whether you have a short build, a tall build, or somewhere in between, that there are ways that you can be effective on the court. So when we get to the full 2K26 builder reveal, or when some of our creators have their hands on the builder later in the summer, you will hopefully notice some of the changes that are striving to hit that goal of build diversity. But that is it for my player for now. There are many, many more details that we just can't share today. I'm excited for what's coming up though.
Yeah, man, I see this little sneak peek right here for me, just as someone that's a fan of the game, makes me really excited, and I definitely want to hear the rest of it. But just a reminder again for everybody in the chat, the full My Player Builder reveal will be the week of August 4th. So put that on your calendar. If you're looking forward to that, the week of August 4th will be the full My Player Builder reveal. With that being said, next up is my team. So all of my team fans, lock in. And we're starting out with Triple Threat Park. What do we have going on there?
Well, Triple Threat Park is back. It has been a very fun first year in 2K25. And look, I know Park is not something many My Team players are used to, but as the year has gone on, I've seen a lot of streams where people are squatting up with some friends and they're really having fun in the park. And even if you don't play My Team, let's say you're a My Career player, you spend all year running the same 4 or 5 builds, if you jump into Triple Threat Park right now, there are so many My Team cards you can pretty easily get, and you only need 1 if you're playing co-op, and then it's basically like playing Park with NBA players. So I even saw someone last week, they've hit level 40 almost every season in My Career, and they posted how they realized that they've also earned a ton of powerful My Team cards at the same time without even knowing it. So because of that, they were kind of able to jump into Park right away with some My Team friends. But anyways, that is enough about 2K25. That's just my view on Triple Threat Park, or 2K26, which is what you guys want to know about. When we do get to the full My Team reveal, there's a couple things you can look forward to us talking about. First, there is a new location for the Triple Threat Park. So the rooftop has been awesome, but we do have a different vibe this year to keep things fresh. There are also new ways to play with or against other people in the park. So you can squad up with your +1, play new formats that I'm not going to spoil today, but I will say I have seen them be requested often by the community. So little hint for you there. Lastly, in the park, there have been changes to rewarding with community feedback in mind so that you can earn even more rewards throughout the Triple Threat Park, but we're also going to share more on that in a couple weeks.
All right, perfect. Sounds great. Next up for my team, we also have King of the Court presented by AT&T. Let's lock in. I know a lot of My Team fans are excited for this one, so let's hear what we got.
Yes, My Team players, I want you to pay attention to this one because I know you're going to like it. But there's 2 things here to cover. One of the biggest points of My Team feedback that we've heard this past year is how King of the Court was only for a few hours on Saturdays. So if you were out of the house, maybe you work on Saturdays, or maybe you're just in a different time zone where those 4 hours were in the middle of the night for you, and you probably couldn't consistently participate, right? We get that. So in 2K26, the dev team has worked on making King of the Court more accessible. Now it is going to take place across the entire weekend to give you more opportunity to play. But the other thing about King of the Court is a very, very big one. Because in addition to competing for big amounts of VC, the winner across PlayStation 5 and Xbox each weekend is also going to be competing for a cash prize of $10,000. So we are going to share more details about all of that. But in
Oh my
short,
goodness.
there will be a cash prize for King of the Court winners in my team on the weekends. I am very, very excited for this. I hope our competitive community feels similarly. Even now, very often I'll come across like a My Team YouTube channel or social account or something, and they still have like NBA 2K23, 250K qualifier, something like that in their bio. So I am hoping to see some great streams, some great videos on the weekends from the King of the Court this year.
Man, hey man, huge shout out to AT&T. You know what I'm saying? Bringing the heat for NBA 2K26. We really do appreciate it. But it is time to move on. Just remember, the full My Team reveal will be the week of August 11th. So if you're a My Team fan, you're looking to hear more about King of the Court, shout out to AT&T. Keep that on your calendar. The week of August 11th.
Yes, indeed. Real quick, by the way, one more thing here. Don't forget that there is a 2K26 challenge that's available right now in 2K25. So you have to use SGAs and Melos cards. And by the way, if you don't have those cards, you can get them with that locker code right there on the right side of your screen. And if you complete that challenge, you get not only an invincible Devin Booker in 2K25, but you also get a Series 1 option pack and a mystery special pack waiting for you in 2K26. So we will tell you a bit more about what that special pack is when we do the My Team Courtside Report. But I don't think I've seen anybody make an accurate prediction yet. But at the same time, I can't see everything. So just wanted to make sure that you guys do that challenge so that you're not passing up on some extra rewards for 2K26. But that is it for my team. What do you have next, Dex?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Personally, my favorite mode, we're going to be talking about my career. And what do I see here, Evan? Does it say a new My Career storyline? Is that what we're getting here?
Yes, you are correct. So My Career is a really important mode to us because so many of you love playing in your NBA careers. Makes sense, right? Who doesn't want to make themselves, put them on an NBA team? It's fun. So this year, the dev team has spent time building out a full prelude story that is called Out of Bounds. Title of it? Now, we're not going to spoil how the story goes, of course, but what we can say is that there are now more consequences to the story games and your choices. So, for example, if you've got a game and your goal is to outshine your opponent, but you fail, your agent might not be able to get you the best opportunities because you didn't pass those objectives. So it makes things more interesting. And personally, every year, I still start with my career for at least a few hours before I go into multiplayer in the city and all that. So I'm excited to play through this Out of Bounds storyline myself. Hope you guys are as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also, where will you go in the NBA draft? It looked like the draft is back.
Well, ultimately, you want to get drafted to the NBA, right? I don't think that's a spoiler. I can say that. The draft is also an area of my career where I've seen brought up a lot in feedback because it seems like half the community wants to get drafted and half want to pick their team so that they can go to the Lakers and play with LeBron and Luka. Or if you're like Stacks, picking the Knicks, of course, playing with Brunson over there. But our dev team has done the best of both worlds in 2K26. So this year, you can be drafted based on your performance and how well you fit each team. Or you could also bet on yourself. You can pick a team to do a private workout for and try to convince them to draft you instead. So the decision is up to you whether you want to get drafted or pick your team. And I think it's a pretty nice solution to that feedback where we saw both ends, people who wanted to get drafted and people who wanted to pick their team. Now you can do what you want.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I like that. This is a reminder, the full My Career reveal will be the week of August 18th. I'm excited for that one personally. That's probably my favorite one. That's the one I'm waiting for the most. But next up, we got My NBA. And we also have, when I heard about this, I thought this was really cool because I always thought about why this isn't in the game. Now it's in the game. We got dynamic banners.
Yes. So what does that mean? When teams win championships, they obviously get to hang a banger up, right? Our cover athletes, Thunder Squad, they're about to do that in a few months. Well, now, as you win titles, you will see championship banners actually live in your home arena going forward. So the dev team put a lot of love into this feature. They have carved out a dedicated section in each arena for these banners. And as you play out your franchises, you are going to see all the years of championships hung up there. And the presentation is going to spotlight it to show the hopefully many years of championships you've earned. If you can't win one, you're not going to get one. But hopefully you have many, many years of championships to show up there in the rafters. So we don't have a visual today, but we were going to show you all how this works in August.
Hey, perfect. We also have more customization with unranked MyGM.
Yes. So last year, we brought back MyGM, and even pre-launch, when we announced it, during our Q&As, people were asking about an unranked option. So we didn't do that last year, but this year we do have that. And in the unranked version of MyGM, you have a lot more freedom. So you can import custom rosters, draft classes, essentially really fine-tune your settings. So last year, if you thought MyGM looked cool, you were interested, but you got turned off by the lack of customization, we think you'll really like this one.
Perfect. And the full My NBA reveal will be the week of August 18. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have the city. Let's dive in there. See, we got some heat to talk about.
Forget about the city? I see many people in the chat have been asking us to get to this. Hurry up. Well, we are going to talk about the city a little bit. And I did want to talk about it first a little bit in general, because in years past, we've heard the feedback about how intimidating the city was, right? We talked about this before, and 2K25 was a huge step to actioning on that feedback. I think I personally noticed it right away this past year, and I think much of the community did as well. Now, we want to get you on the court faster. So this year in 2K26, without showing you the city, because we can't do that just yet, how I would describe it is it's even more intimate, it's even more accessible, and you can get wherever you want to go really quickly to further build on that big shift last year. So if you've heard the words the city come up before and you thought about that really big map with streets and turns everywhere, that is not how the city is now. And I think you're going to really like the one in 2K26. But what sneak peeks do we have for the community, Stacks? Because there's a very cool one here.
Yeah, so first up, it says there's even more ways to flex and show off in the city. Tell us what that means, Evan.
Right. So all of you in the community love to flex. When we get into August, something you can expect to hear about are multiple new ways of how we're putting a spotlight on players. And one that we thought we would be cool to talk about today, as an example, it's not too big of a spoiler, is our new mode leaderboards. So these rank players by the most wins in places like the theater and the rec. And the cool thing is the top player each day is going to have a big 12-foot statue of their My Player built outside of that mode's building. So if you are the number one player that day, whenever somebody walks in, you are going to be looking down on them, kind of intimidating them. So that is just one example. We can't talk about the other new additions here just yet, but you will hear more very soon later in the summer. There is one more very cool thing though, Stacks, that I have been waiting to talk about.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So this one right here, in terms of people that play in the park and stuff like that, this is probably the number one thing. And I noticed like a theme throughout this thing is a lot of community feedback. But it says right here, the park gets a makeover. Evan, we need to know what's going on with this.
All right, so we're going to end on one that I think many of you will be really, really happy to hear, because the park is getting a lot of love in 2K26. And we want to call out now that the new designs are focused on more natural and more grounded environments. Because the feedback about what direction many of you want to see the park environments go in, that has been heard. So this year you can expect to see designs like ones that are more similar to courts that maybe you might see in the real world. Maybe in your cities or neighborhoods, you might see courts like these. And one more thing here on visuals is that there are also new lighting improvements and a fixed time of day. And the benefit of that is that it should reduce the amount of harsh shade and harsh sunlight that you may have noticed in the past when you were playing. Both of those things, I am sure, are very welcome news. I keep seeing those brought up. So, Stacks, I hope the community is happy with them. I see a lot of W's in the chat. That is something that we've been waiting to say for a while, that the scenery
I don't get it. Why are they still having the park
and more grounded, and the lighting improvements should make the harsh shade and the harsh sunlight a little bit more accessible for you all, less of a bother when you are playing. Stacks,
like
that is going to do it for our
community's
sneak
so
peek. I
stupid,
think the
man.
community got some nice little information here. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. And just keep in mind, guys, all of what we spoke about, or Evan spoke about today, is just a sneak peek, right? We're gonna get deeper into all of these things and the dates that we mentioned. And as far as the park goes or the city goes, the full reveal will be the week of August 25th. So keep that in mind. More news to come during that thing. But I feel like we got a lot of interesting things here, a lot of great news here. We talked a little bit about gameplay, my team, my career, the city, my NBA. We talked about a lot of things here, and I really love the fact that a lot of this stuff was community feedback focused. So, shout out to the community for always submitting that feedback and letting these guys know exactly what you want. And shout out to 2K as well for actually taking the time and implementing some of the stuff in the game too. That was cool.
Exactly. Shout out to our dev team who's been working on that, on all these features and many more that we are going to talk about very soon. In case you missed any of this, the VOD will be up so you can rewatch, or you can also read the full Courtside Report blog that is going to be live very soon, if not already, on the NBA 2K website. And that also covers what we just talked about in case you came in late, didn't see some of it, because we did start a little bit earlier than expected today. So in case you missed any of it, it is all in the blog. You can go and look and catch up. Now, we are going to see you back here for NBA 2K26 gameplay on the week of July 28th, and that is in about 2 weeks. That's going to kick off a marathon of reveals leading up to early access on August 29th. If we can put up the roadmap here, this is a very beautiful graphic our team has been working on. There's some Easter eggs here as well, but those little tape cassettes there next to the TV, that has got all the dates you can expect to see: gameplay, presentation, my career, my NBA, a couple things we didn't even talk about are there in those tape cassettes. Go take a look, and we are going to see you very soon. That is all I got, Stacks.
Yes, sir. See y'all in the next one. Like you said, gameplay coming the week of July 28th. We'll be back there, talk about gameplay a little bit more in depth. So see you guys. Can't wait to talk about it more. Peace.
Have a great weekend, you guys. See you very, very soon.
Well, that was interesting. Not really, like, what's it called? Much info on it, but that was interesting. All right. Thanks for watching, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Stay derpy, my friends.